I certainly don't think there's been a negative impact on Ireland, although the powers that be and the commentators would lead us to believe that voting no last year has been detrimental to our country and to the image of the country. However, there's no objective evidence for that whatsoever. And as I understand it, in a submission to an Oireachtas committee a few months after the no vote last year, the IDA confirmed that there was no objective evidence for any damage done to Ireland. I have to say, I have the treaty here before me, and I've read the treaty. And coming up on the train this morning, I was trying to figure out, I've read the treaty, I've read it in detail. I have two versions of it. One version is over 345 pages. And I was trying to understand how come the Labour Party, Fine Gael, the XPDs, Fianna Fáil, IBEC, the Chambers of Commerce, Intel, Michael O'Leary, all on the same side. I thought, am I missing something here? I regard myself as a fairly tuned in person. I'm a practicing barrister, a mother of two, I read a lot. And I thought, what am I missing? They're all telling me that Lisbon is good. And I've read it in detail, and I've come to the firm conclusion that they simply haven't read the treaty. They couldn't possibly have read the treaty and make the decisions they're making. And that has been crystallised for me in the recent comments from Michael O'Leary, who couldn't refer to a single article in the treaty and decided to demonise us and call us nitwits and economic illiterates. And similarly, Intel has come out. Now, Intel, who have let people go recently, suddenly have any amount of money to spend on a yes campaign without giving us a single reference to any article in the treaty. And what disappoints me, I have to say, in relation to this is that the likes of so-called left-wing parties, the Labour Party, who I understand their position for a yes, a critical yes as I understand it, they've been silent in relation to the comments from Michael O'Leary and the demonising of people like ourselves on the left, who have struggled without money, without any backup, to understand this treaty that's practically incomprehensible to me as a barrister. I think there are no basis at all for that, to suggest that Ireland will be put out of Europe or will be isolated if we reject the Lisbon Treaty. That scaremongering appeared before the last Lisbon referendum, and it has increased in intensity since. However, I noticed at the weekend in the papers they're finally acknowledging, even the commentators and the politicians themselves, that there is no basis for this. And what they have resorted to now is the fact that it would be very ungrateful for us to say no to Lisbon, that we've gained a lot from it, and that in fact if we say no on this occasion, even though we will remain in Europe, we'll remain at the heart of Europe, we'll remain an integral part of Europe. However, what we were told in the Sunday papers, much to my amazement, was that we would be treated as if we had the plague. Such is the level of emotional blackmail that we're being faced with.
In order to provide some kind of smokescreen for making the Irish people vote again on a treaty that remains absolutely unchanged, the Irish have argued, the Irish government has argued that it has obtained guarantees. Well, in my opinion, those so-called guarantees represent nothing more than political promises. And I really do believe that if the Irish people subscribe to the notion that political promises have any currency in the world today, well then they are very foolish indeed.